7. Barrett outside, the switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home! Broke his ankles!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today I'm going to be talking about the report that came out by The Athletic, and that's that the New York Knicks are actually interested in Ben Simmons, and there's other teams out there that are interested in Ben Simmons, like the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to be talking about the positives, the negatives. Is this really a realistic thing that can go down? As you guys know, the New York Knicks have gone off to a very shaky start. There's no team chemistry. There's no heart out there on the court. Disappointing play of RJ, disappointing play of Julius Randle. Yes, there's plenty of time for this ship to really turn around, but there's no heart. There's no discipline like what we saw last year. Julius Randle's not being held accountable. He's not the same leader that he was last year. The body language by these players is awful. Evan Fournier. So I guess it was cool to see Grimes, a young player, really show some heart, show some tenacity, and ball out even in a loss, because we could actually see that maybe he's a part of the future and we have a young player moving forward, if it's as a starter or a player coming off the bench. But let's just talk about Ben Simmons real quick. Ben Simmons, taken with the first overall pick. This dude is being hyped up as the next LeBron James coming out of LSU. He was the first overall pick by the Philadelphia 76ers. He battled some injuries. And Ben Simmons, he's a beast of a player. He really is. He's a talented basketball player, but he hasn't really reached the ceiling. He hasn't lived up to the hype of what some people thought he was going to be. Yes, he's a fantastic passer of the ball. He could push it in transition. He could pass it in the half-court setting. When his motor is on, he's a fantastic player. And that's the key thing right there. When his motor is on, there's a big-time question mark of how bad does he want to be great. That was even a concern coming out of college, entering the NBA. Does he want to be a great player? Does he have a great work ethic? You see all these players around the league working on their jump shot, translating it to the NBA game, in a couple of years or a year after working on it. Ben Simmons has shown no signs of improving his jump shot or improving his shot at all. If it's from the charity stripe, if it's from the outside, Ben Simmons has been just a horrible shooter of the basketball. Yes, he hasn't been attempting them, but in his mind, at least mentally, he knows he's not a great shooter. There's him messing around with Kendall Jenner. Obviously they're not together anymore, and he can't deal with Philadelphia sports fans. Well, he's not going to be able to deal with the New York media. He's not going to be able to deal with Knicks fans. I feel like he is soft. He is someone that fades away from the big moment, but I'm not knocking his talent. Again, he's a fantastic passer of the ball. He's 6'10", built like a brick house. He's an athletic freak of nature. He's one of the best defenders in the game. In my opinion, he should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's someone that can guard multiple positions. He can guard 1 through 5. You see what he's capable of. You saw versus the Utah Jazz when Joel Embiid was out, 41 points. Again, when this guy's aggressive, he chooses when he wants to be aggressive, and that should definitely never be your mindset. Your motor should always be on, and I feel like the New York Knicks shouldn't have a player that is afraid of the big moment. We need someone that could take over games and isn't afraid to be a leader, and at the point guard position, I really think you have to be a leader, and I don't see that with Ben Simmons. I really don't see Ben Simmons being a leader. I've just never seen someone that's so huge, such a mismatch on the court, and he plays scared. That's just going to be a deficiency in the playoffs as well. He hasn't been a big-time playoff performer. They're gonna foul him down the stretch. He just isn't decisive. He doesn't play the brand of basketball that he plays in the regular season. He's a good regular season player. You would love to have him in the regular season, but when the playoffs comes around, you would want anyone else. And I'm not even trying to disrespect Ben Simmons at all. He can rebound the ball. He's strong, like I mentioned, all these great things. But it's up here. He doesn't have that killer mentality. Ben Simmons does not have that. And now let's get into is this really a realistic thing to happen? The Philadelphia 76ers, what they're looking for, they're looking to be a championship caliber team. They're looking to win an NBA championship. There's no player on this Knicks team that I'm yup, the Philadelphia 76ers want him. Julius Randle, I don't think they want Julius Randle. Julius Randle's trade value probably isn't even high at all. I'm not saying Ben Simmons is high, but are the Philadelphia 76ers saying Julius Randle, he's a great fit with Joel Embiid, a guy that's just going to absolutely take the ball out of his hands, take the ball out of Tobias Harris's hands. Emmanuel Quickley looks like a nice bench piece. Obi Toppin, he looks solid this year, but there's no proof that Obi Toppin will be a definite star in the future. Ben Simmons, we could hate on him for what he did in the playoffs, but this man is like still an all-star caliber talent. He's still gone to all-star games. He's still helped the Philadelphia 76ers when he was playing go to the playoffs. So is Ben Simmons good enough even when he was on the Knicks? Like if he's on the Knicks, if we trade for him to like really deal with his nonsense as well, could we just trust him to put his head down, go to work, and there's no distractions? Like, can you really trust Ben Simmons like with that? He's a triple-double threat and all that, but I just don't think it's realistic. Like, Obi, quickly, Randall, like RJ, do they want RJ? Do you guys think that would be a good fit? I know some people have given up on RJ. You guys know my stance on RJ. I'm going to support him as long as he's a New York Knick, but he definitely still has to prove a lot. I know he's not a great fit in the starting lineup, but let me know down below your thoughts. Like, would you trade for Ben Simmons? I don't think there's anyone like on our roster that like Philly wants. I know some people are going to say just give up all the draft picks and all that. We're in desperate need of a point guard. We've been in desperate need of a point guard for a very long time. But we'll see how this pans out. We'll see who ends up getting him. I could see him going to Minnesota. I actually think that's a solid fit over there. I think they need a distributor of the basketball. I don't think D'Angelo Russell's a good fit over there. And you could say D'Angelo in Philly might be a good fit. Someone that's kind of the opposite of Ben Simmons and not afraid of the big moment. But Ben Simmons, high IQ player. But is he mentally tough enough for New York? Is he someone like he doesn't shoot the ball at all? Like at least take a mid-range jumper if you know what I'm saying. Like put pressure on the defense somewhat outside of attacking the basket. And sometimes he doesn't look to do that all the time. But let me know down below your thoughts and peace out, y'all.